versus Ronald George, file 2016-1165 FC. Matter is before the court for sentencing.
Your Honor, Jeffrey Upshaw here along with Mr. Ronald George. He is in court and prepared for sentencing.
Morning, counsel. Are you Ronald George?
Yes, sir.
Mr. George, today's the date scheduled for your sentencing. Have you had a full and complete opportunity to consult with your lawyer about your case before coming into court?
Yes, sir.
He has verbally, emotionally, and physically or sexually, however you want to put it, assaulted me in my own home. I go to counseling once a week ever since this. I don't feel safe. I'm fearful of being out of my home or in my home.
How long have you been going to counseling?
Probably around 7 months now. I haven't been able to keep a job since then. I have lost friends due to this. I can't sleep. I'm paranoid all the time. I can go on and list things upon things upon things that have changed in my everyday life because of this man.
Ms. Wrench had indicated to the police and has previously testified under oath at the co-defendant's preliminary exam that during the robbery that Mr. George had a pistol, that he had put it up to her head, and that she believed at that point that it was real based on the feel of it being cold and metal, and that further during the robbery at one point that Mr. George had demanded that she take off her shirt, that she would suffer some sort of physical harm at that point.
This man made a conscious decision to commit these crimes. He chose to ruin whatever he had going for himself. I did not get a choice, however. Ever since that night, I have felt dead inside my own skin. This man, on the night of August 26, 2016, came with a gun and his friend to my house. This man robbed me at gunpoint over money, a speaker, and weed. It may not sound like much to some, but I was robbed of a lot more things that night. I am the one who is suffering. I am the one who is in pain. I am the one who doesn't feel safe in my own home. I am the one who always has to look over my shoulder. I am the one who can no longer trust anyone. I am the one who was assaulted. I am the one who is lucky to be able to give this statement. My head and demanded I take off my shirt. I refused. He said something that plays like a broken record in my head, and excuse my language. He said, "Take off your shirt or I'll blow your fucking brains out." I continued to refuse because honestly at that point I would have rather been dead. That night, this man robbed me of everything besides living. My life was in the palm of this man's hand. I am a victim of this man's choices every day for the past 8 months. I have been living in a hell. I no longer think life is about living. Life is about surviving. Nothing can ever erase this from my mind. I can't change what has happened to me, but I can possibly make an impact on it not happening to someone else.
My name is Ronald George. I am 19 years old, and last summer I made a terrible choice that will impact my family, a young woman, and several others for the rest of their lives. I have no excuses because I knew better. My mother and father raised me to be respectful, religious, and responsible. On August 26, 2016, I was none of those. I came to Kalamazoo to get an education and fulfill a lifelong dream to play college football. Neither of those will ever happen again, and for that I have no one to blame but myself. The list of people I'd like to apologize to is long, from my mother and father to my friends and extended family, to my mentors and coaches who believed in me that I let down. But most importantly, I'd like to apologize to the young lady who my actions made fear for her life. For that, I'm truly sorry. Every day I wake up, I have to live with the impulsive decision I made. Not only does it affect me, but the people I love. I feel regretful and ashamed for my horrible behavior. And prior to enrolling to Western Michigan, I attended Central Catholic in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The mission of Pittsburgh Central Catholic is to inspire boys to become men of faith, scholarship, and service. For 4 years, I lived those values. For one night, on August 26th, I abandoned them. One bad decision has changed the course of not only my life, but several others. My dreams of college education at Western Michigan and the privilege of playing college football are gone. My hopes of being a role model to my younger family members and my community are now put on hold. Whether or not my actions of last August define me forever or reset my moral compass are now up to me. I will not let this define me. I accept my punishment, and I'm ready to bring to an end this unfortunate chapter of my life. I am determined to find redemption. The last 9 months have given me an opportunity to reflect on my purpose, my path, and my principles. In returning home to live with my mother and father, I've steered clear of the law and spent my time working at Liberty USA and volunteering at my church, helping other kids like me to avoid similar mistakes. Most importantly, helping them understand how one bad choice can impact their families and their victims forever. When this is over, I plan to resume my studies and earn a degree in business management. It's hard to believe that a year ago at this time, I was still a high school senior. Graduation was around the corner, and I had a bright future ahead of me. And one night,
It's all right.
and one night, I not only threw much of that away, but terrorized the victim in the process. I own that, and will use that as filter for every decision I make for the rest of my life. To the victim, I ask for forgiveness. To my parents, I ask for your compassion. And grace is often defined as something God gives us that we probably don't deserve. I humbly ask in your honor for mercy. Your honor, as you consider my punishment, I ask for your mercy. The mercy to give me the chance to make right a wrong, and live the life God has chosen for me.
Not only for the individual like yourself to ever do something like this again, but for the community at large to understand that with every action comes a consequence, and people need to be prepared to face consequences if they're going to behave this way. That's called deterrent, the deterrent effect. I'm supposed to balance, and I do balance, the principles of punishment. That is, for every action there's a consequence, so there needs to be a punishment if it's a negative action. I also balance the principles of rehabilitation and protection of society. All of those weigh into my equation, if you will, in fashioning an appropriate sentence. Let me begin by saying that. I've been a judge for 17 years, and I've seen a lot of different things along the way, Mr. George. People addicted to crimes, people addicted to drugs, people addicted to abuse. And this particular situation you find yourself in, Mr. George, of all the cases I've seen in 17 years, I cannot stop scratching my head. You come to this community with everything on your plate. And one fell swoop, you throw virtually all of it out the window. And there appears to be, on its face, no justification whatsoever for it. Nothing. It is the height of impulsive behavior. And it's inexplicable to me. It really is. As far as any type of incarceration, it is the sentence of this court that you serve no less than 32 months to no more than 120 months with the Michigan Department of Corrections.